Hey, so two quick things. Like I really am actually so keen on just talking to you guys about some of the struggles that I've had and stuff. But on Monday, yesterday in the morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, I didn't post a video yesterday. And like I thought about one on Saturday and stuff, but the one thing that I've been really kind of conscious of is I don't just want to share for the sake of sharing. And it it brought up quite a lot, right? Because I think sometimes we say things or we put ourselves in positions to say things when actually we have nothing to say, whether it be fact or opinion. And I don't know, it's really weird, guys, but for the past 3 or 4 days, that's really just been, I feel like that's been something that God's been wanting me to pay attention to. And one of my favorite verses around that is in first, now I need to, Corinthians. Okay, so the thing is, he says it twice. I must actually get my Bible. So he says it twice. He says it in 6 verse 12, and then I think in 10:23 or 10:24, where he says everything is permissible but not everything is beneficial, right? And then he says everything is permissible but not everything is, I think it's encouraging, but I mean, he says it twice in Corinthians 6 and in Corinthians 10. And I think if you read it in the Message, you actually get quite a nice understanding of, why he said it twice, because he's not saying the same thing in both situations. But that verse has been a big thing for me, right? Especially like in terms of business, it's been a very, very big thing. But I think what has made it applicable in the past few days, if I can say it like that, has really just been this call of, Katie, don't just open your mouth. And I kind of want to just put it out there, that it's not always for us to open our mouths. I mean, that comes out in so many journeys in life. So for instance, if you're working on something and you're working on a hustle, you don't want to open your mouth and just share it with everybody, because not everybody is actually there. Like, it's not actually looking out for you. You know what I mean? Not everybody's actually sending you good vibes. I'm not saying don't tell anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you need people that pray with you, that believe with you, that trust with you, that encourage you on your journey. Sometimes bad things happen and it's not for you to put out there. Like. My story is obviously, like you'll see, it's a complicated one. But I really feel like I have the grace and the peace to share that journey. You know what I mean? Even in the things that I still struggle with now, somebody else could have gone through a similar journey and they're not going to say nothing. It's this thing about staying in your own lane. But as we stay in our lane, like, we need to exercise wisdom, guys. We need to take knowledge and actually apply that, so that wisdom comes out in what we say, how we say it, when we say it, dear God, and how we approach certain situations. So that's the one thing, okay? The second thing, though, is then me actually wanting to say, something or share something. So one of the really big things, I think, especially if you struggle, like, if you're on, like, kind of from my lane, and a big part of what you struggle with, or what you have struggled with, is rejection. One of the things that changed my life was verbalizing expectations in relationships, like in any relationships, in all relationships. Like, it has made it, sometimes it's fair and sometimes it's unfair, but it has made it so easy for me to understand my place within a relationship. Because, like I said in the previous video, every single time, without fail, if there is pain caused in a relationship, then if there is happiness, if there is sadness, if there is joy, any emotion, right, is linked to expectation. Any emotion in any relationship is linked to expectation. If you know that I enjoy celebrating my birthday and you celebrate my birthday with me, I'm happy because you've met my expectation. I'm very, very happy because you've exceeded my expectation. If you know that I don't like, I mean, I'm just using my own examples, right? If you know that I'm very much a diary person, so I need you to be in my diary so that we can talk, and you don't do that, you just rock up here, and I'm going to be like, look, dog, I don't have time for you because this is what I have planned for this moment, then you're going to be sad because you're going to feel like, oh, Katie's not there for me and she doesn't care about me. And, you know, what type of a friend is this? Again, it's a breakdown of expectation because you expect that I will just constantly be available to you. I don't expect that. So because our expectations miss each other, now we have hurt, right? Or pain or whatever you call it. So I think, and what is really great is if you can actually sit down with your friends and talk through some of these expectations. Sit down with a spouse, sit down with a partner and talk through some of these expectations. Because guys, the lack of communication around these expectations is causing so much hurt. And sometimes sometimes I look at situations and I just think to myself, it is so unnecessary. So, like, just to kind of summarize, because I don't want to talk forever. First, I want to encourage you, like, before you open your mouth, exercise wisdom in what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. I even have some people that before I send them a message, I check with another friend, you know, hey, I'm about to send this message. How are you receiving it? Because you obviously, you know, for effective communication, these are now Stephen Covey things, you know, effective communication, as I say what I want to say, the other person has to receive it with the intent that I have said, you know, that I said it with. So I have people like that where I have to be like, hey, listen, is this okay? But yeah, anyway, so first of all, exercise wisdom, you know when to open your mouth and when to keep your mouth shut or when to shut up. And then secondly, you know, be intentional about communicating expectation, because even in the workplace, guys, you know, like, it's one of those things that you don't really understand just how impactful it can be until you've tried it and you see how, like, just how much it is. And the thing is, I'm not trying to like lead you down a road that's a happy ending, right? Because sometimes you'll have those things. So with myself, for instance, I have a thing, like, it's just, I don't know, I woke up one day and I think it just kind of came to me, and I said to all my male friends, I said, guys, you know, I really appreciate it if when we're getting into a car, you open the door for me. I can close it myself, but I appreciate it if you're opening the door, like if you open the door for me if we're getting into a car, right? And I told them, and I said, look, it's not like a big thing, it's not like a you must, you know, it's on a scale of 1 to 10, I probably feel like 2 about it, but it's just something that I enjoy. And they were like, oh, Katie, you know, that will never happen. And I was like, I mean, that's fine. I'm just voicing my expectation, you know? And I mean, I think probably for like 3 months or so, like, none of them did it, you know? And it was fine because I'd said, look, it's not, you know, it's not like a 5, it's not a 7, it really was a 2, you know, just in terms of something I like. But every now and then when we're going somewhere or whatever, then they'll open the door for me, you know, and let me get in. And you know, and when they do, I appreciate it. I enjoy it, you know. And just because they've done it now, it doesn't mean in 2 seconds they have to do it again. Just because they did it today, it doesn't mean tomorrow they're going to do it again. You know, that's obviously a light one. But I mean, I'm just trying to think of another one. Okay, so for instance, like, I'm not very tactful, right? I struggle a bit. But, you know, so I'll say, look, I don't like it when you do 1, 2, and 3, right? And then in the next moment, they'll do 1, 2, and 3, okay? And then I'll voice it again. Look, I actually don't like it. This is how it makes me feel when you do 1, 2, and 3. And they will keep doing it, right? And in that moment, like, or in that situation, it's for me to realize that, okay, they are aware of how I feel. They just don't care, you know? So am I happy to be in that relationship? Regardless of the fact that they are ignoring how they are constantly making me feel by doing 1, 2, and 3? Or am I saying, look, this is actually a deal breaker for me, so thanks, but I'm going to change the dynamics of our relationship because I can't have you too close because you keep hurting me, and you're hurting me knowing that you're hurting me. No, hurting me knowing that you're hurting me is not the same thing as hurting me intentionally, just by the way. But yeah, so have a good day.